Thanks for joining us on the Finance Report. I'm David Wogenson alongside Mallory Hoff. In just a moment, outdated retirement planning. It can come at a price, but taking an updated approach just isn't something most of us have taken a class on.
We'll also discuss life after your paycheck stops, how the market can give but also take away, and taxes, the surprises for some that have long been hiding in plain sight, as well as your retirement GPS. All that and more coming up.
This is the Finance Report with Mike Riedmiller, a financial professional and the president of Riedmiller Wealth Management, a financial firm serving Nebraska retirees. Mike is also the popular radio and podcast show host of Smart Retirement Strategies. And now it's time for the Finance Report.
So look, I think there are a lot of people out there, they've put their head down, they've worked really hard, they've done the things they believe is going to help them have that confident retirement, but then they're on the doorstep of retirement and maybe they're not so confident.
That's right. So my question is this, Mike, how can we actually enjoy a retirement party without having that sinking feeling about the next 2 or even 3 decades of our lives?
It comes down to 3 things: investment planning, income planning, and looking at tax strategies.
Yeah.
So with investment planning, make sure we have a balanced and diversified plan for our situation. Income planning, multiple sources of income. Make sure to exceed expenses in retirement. And then tax strategies. That could be one of the biggest expenses in retirement. Got to make sure that we've looked at different potential options for that.
Well, when we're talking about our investments, we look at the market. Nobody wants to miss out on the gains that it can potentially provide. But how do we balance that risk-reward feeling for retirement?
Yeah, that's the challenge a lot of people have as they're coming up on retirement or already retired. Look, when we're in our 20s, 30s, or 40s, we can be more aggressive. And we've got a long time to make up for losses in our accounts. But coming up on retirement or already retired, we've got to have more of a balanced and diversified plan, some layers and levels of protection built in. If you think about how many times the market has been down over the last 20 or 30 years, well, how many times might it be down in the next 10, 20, 30 years when somebody's retired? We've got to plan for that.
Absolutely. When it comes to taxes, what are the biggest mistakes that you're seeing retirees and pre-retirees make right now?
Well, yeah, when it comes to taxes, not thinking about what the future tax implications could be.
Yeah.
Because if you think about if somebody has an IRA or a 401k, it's basically a joint account with Uncle Sam. Well, what do I mean? For every dollar that comes out, they get it, some of it. Well, Uncle Sam, they get their cut. So when you've got an IRA or 401k, you do not solely own that. Your partnership with Uncle Sam, maybe a partnership you don't want to have in retirement.
You brought up the income planning portion of retirement. How often are people just unaware that they can still create that type of paycheck, that dependable, sustainable income during retirement?
A lot of times they're not aware of it because their thought is, well, they'll just take withdrawals and hope that it works out. Well, hope is not a strategy. If you've got a 401k plan, that's not a retirement plan. So specifically with income planning, the more sources, the better. So Social Security, maybe you have a pension, a dividend-paying stocks, and there should be other sources. So you want income to exceed expenses. Not very profound, but for some people, it's eye-opening because they never thought of it.
Yeah.
They walk out the door that last day. They don't even get the gold watch anymore. They don't get the party. Things have changed, and the paycheck stops, but the bills continue to come in.
All right, a hot topic right now, ChatGPT, AI. I think people feel there are more resources than ever that are available to them. What do you say to the person or the couple that says, you know what, I got it, I'm gonna plan my own retirement?
Yeah, well, how much time do we have, Mallory?
Let's go there.
Okay, let's go there. Well, here, I'll give you a quick analogy. You know, Mallory, if you were going on a trip with your family, you get on the plane and the pilot came on board or came in on the loudspeaker and said, I have an announcement to make. I have no formal training, but I went on ChatGPT and I've looked into AI. I've watched some videos online. I talked to my next door neighbor. I think we're gonna make it. I think we'll be okay. What would you do? You
I think
run
we're
for the
running.
exits.
We're deboarding.
Yes.
But people with their life savings and their nest egg, that's exactly what they do.
Okay.
They talk to their neighbor, their brother-in-law, they look online, they maybe watch something on TV or cable TV and they think they've got it. Look, you've got to get it right. This is your life savings. I would not leave that to chance. And basically, when it comes to me and my life, I stay in my lane. I know retirement planning, but when I get outside of that, I want to hire the best.
What do you think is holding people back from having that conversation with someone else besides their next door neighbor or the internet and whatnot. What's holding them back from finding who the right person might be, in your opinion?
Yeah, there could be a number of things. Maybe they've never had a conversation like that. Maybe there's some fear. Maybe they're just procrastinating. You know, procrastination, that is the enemy of wealth.
Sure.
People saying, well, I'm going to see what happens in the market. I'm going to see what happens in Washington, D.C. I'm going to see what happens with the economy. There's always something they're going to wait to see. Again, it really comes down to procrastination. But when I talk to people for the first time, it's just a very casual conversation about their values and goals, and then we go from there. But it's just something, it doesn't have to be fearful.
Doesn't have to be painful at all. And with that in mind, the time to act is now.
Indeed it is. Today exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Riedmiller Wealth Management has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, they're offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your next steps to really get ready for a confident retirement. The number to call right now, 402-791-6177. That's 402-791-6177. If the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and number, and the team will call you back.
We all know them, the people who spend all day, every day, watching the stock market. They live and die by the opening and closing bell. So what's the alternative? And is there a better way? Mike, this is no way to live.
You're absolutely right, Mallory. What a, I don't want to say miserable way to live in retirement, but really being stressed out about the stock market. You've worked years and decades. This is supposed to be your golden years. Hey, you know what? Go golfing, go travel, go see the grandkids, go get some sunshine or fresh air. If you're sitting there watching every tick of the stock market, if you're watching every day, you probably do not have a retirement plan. No way to live in retirement.
No way to live at all. When it comes to those market fluctuations, what do you actually need to know in terms of retirement?
Well, with market fluctuations, you better have a plan in place, from investment planning, income planning, looking at tax strategies. If it's all riding on the ups and downs of the market, there could be some risks that you're not aware of. The thing you don't want to leave your retirement to chance to is hoping that the stock market performs in a certain way for more confidence in retirement. We do not want that. You want to be prepared for whatever could be coming in the market.
All right, so fear of missing out when it comes to the market. What is the potential price tag on that?
Well, with that, taking too much risk. How about missing out on the stress and anxiety? That's what people should be missing out on. But if they're watching every tick of the market, they're having less fun, they're having more stress. It does not have to be that way.
Absolutely not. All right, so how can we figure out then what is the right amount of risk to be taking on for our personal situation?
That's a great question, because Mallory, Wall Street has a plan for our money. It might not be in our best interest.
Yeah.
You know, I remember somebody being at my office, a married couple, and one of them, the person, it was actually the husband, did most of the talking, and the wife didn't say much at all. But I made a comment how some people in retirement spend a lot of their time watching the stock market every day, and she didn't say hardly anything the whole time. She pointed at him and rolled her eyes, said basically him. That's the risk or the fear. You know, I have some clients where whenever I call them, they're usually either on the golf course or they're traveling. Some of them don't even watch the market because they've got that added confidence and they're not all stressed out about every uptick and downtick in the market. That should be the ultimate goal, more fun in retirement.
A really good sign too that they are in the right hands. So let me ask you this then, for the person or the couple thinking, I'll get my ducks in a row eventually. Yeah. What would you say?
Procrastination is expensive.
Yeah.
It is the enemy of wealth. It's very easy to say, I'll get to it, and it's a month later, 3 months later, then next thing you know, you're coming up on the holidays and it's a new year, and then you're traveling, there's always something else. Again, procrastination can be very expensive.
Comes at a price. Thank you so much, as always. We appreciate it. And coming up on the Finance Report, so many of us have no desire to ask for directions, but could a GPS for retirement allow us to take a better route? Hard truths ahead. But first, David will put Mike on the clock. And now, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Riedmiller Wealth Management has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, they're offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your next steps to really get ready for retirement. The number to call right now, 402-791-6177. Once again, that number, 402-791-6177. If the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and your number, and the team will call you back.
We're built for speed on this program. Time for 15 in 15. 15 topics in 15 seconds for Mike. Sir, should we get going?
I'm ready. Let's roll.
Question number 1, big man with big advice. Shaq told the Wall Street Journal that he only invests in what he understands. Now, that works great for him, but how can the rest of us decide which investments are actually appropriate?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when it comes down to investments and what you should be in for retirement, you want a balanced and diversified plan. You don't want to take too much risk, though, because one bad year in the market can wipe out years of gains.
Yeah, we don't want that. By the way, Shaquille O'Neal also saying that if you're financially illiterate, you need to look into annuities. He's a big fan of those. Question number 2, stocks, and more stocks. That's the game we play when working. But for those in the retirement red zone that keep pumping money into Wall Street, what's your caution?
Well, coming up on retirement or already retired, maybe take a little less risk.
Okay.
Because the way you should invest when you're retired might be different than when you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s.
Yeah.
You do not want one bad year in the market to wipe out years of gains, like I mentioned. You want to have more confidence in retirement, so we got to get that right.
Solid answer. Question number 3, your 401k can be viewed by many as a set it and forget it type of investment, but how can people take a more proactive approach with theirs?
Well, with 401k, sometimes the options within that are limited. So if they want to be a little more proactive, might make sense to look at a potential rollover or transfer to an IRA. That's a non-taxable event. It's still growing tax deferred. Once it's in that IRA, individual retirement account, that opens up more potential investment opportunities.
Potential sounds fun to me. Question number 4, there are a lot of investment options for people and their money. Why do you say, though, some people should consider a Roth IRA?
Well, with Roth IRA, you pay the taxes now, and now the money grows tax-free. So in the future, when you withdraw the money, you do not have to pay taxes on that. So you can minimize future tax liabilities. Never had anybody complain about paying less taxes in retirement, David. No complaints.
Yeah, I imagine not too many people are objecting to the idea of having some tax freedom
Not at all.
inside their retirement. Question number 5, fair to say clients do believe your advice is worth the money, but what kind of fees should catch people off guard if an advisor is charging them?
Yeah, you want to look at that because a lot of times people not aware of what they're really paying for. They might be aware of the advisory fee, but a lot of times there might be a platform fee or investment fee. There's also things, net expense ratio, internal costs, things that are found on the prospectus on page 86 in fine
Very
print.
thick, very fine there.
Absolutely. So it's very important to know what all the fees truly are, which a lot of people are not.
We've talked several times about we know what taxes can cost us if we're not planning for them. What could fees potentially be costing someone?
Oh, that can add up to thousands of dollars per year, tens of thousands over the course of a decade, and even more over the course of a person's retirement.
Yeah, ask the right questions there. Question number 6, crazy stat from this study. People are 50% more likely to listen to advice of friends and family over an advisor. You've seen people like that. What helps change their mind?
One bad year in the market
bad year,
or
that'll do it.
experience.
Yeah.
What's the old saying? How do you get good judgment? That's from experience. Where does that come from? From bad judgment.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, if you're basing a retirement plan on hope, on rumors, on the next door neighbor, on your brother-in-law, on the internet, just piecemealing this together, good luck. It's probably not going to end well. That would be my advice, in my opinion.
Okay, question number 7, potential strategies to help your money go further. How does home equity factor into the retirement plan?
Home equity, that is something to look at, because what is your home worth in case you need to borrow against it in the future? Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you have your home paid off.
Sure.
Because when you enter retirement, if you don't have that house payment or that mortgage payment, that can be very beneficial. But also, with home equity, the more equity you have in your home, if you do want to move, then that could give you more options down the road. Also, that can be part of your legacy if you leave that to your kids and or grandkids.
A lot of different options. Mike Riedmiller, 7 questions up, 8 more to go. Today, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Riedmiller Wealth Management has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, they're offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now and then discuss your next steps to really get ready for a confident retirement. The number to call right now, it's 402-791-6177. That's 402-791-6177. If the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and number, and the team will call you back. Fire the clock back up. Question number 8. According to a study, 78%, that's America's retirement score. What exactly does that mean? Well, that's the target income retirees will need to cover their expenses. It's down. Mike, what's a retiree's counterpunch to this problem?
Oh, great question. The counterpunch.
We always have to have it.
We've got to. I love it. Well, with that, so somebody's working, they retire, they might get 78% of that income, but their bills are still at that 100% level. So in retirement, unless you're going to lower your lifestyle, lower your standard of living, you probably need the same amount of income, maybe even more. That's where it comes down to income planning from multiple sources. The more income, the better in retirement.
Yeah, no one's complaining about having too much income. Question number 9, the future of Social Security, always a topic of conversation, but for those not counting on it, instead looking to their workplace retirement plan, is that a sound strategy for the bulk of their retirement income?
David, Social Security was never meant to be the sole source of income in retirement. It was just meant to supplement it. So we've got to look at other sources, like if they have a pension, dividend-paying stocks, required minimum distributions, if they have any rental income, maybe annuities in certain situations. Piecing that all together, the more income, the better in retirement. But again, Social Security should not be the sole source.
Sound advice right there. Question number 10, you're never too young to save for retirement, or frankly, maybe too old. Why should people make compounding their ally?
Wow, compounding, I believe Einstein said that's one of the biggest wonders of the world, or most powerful wonders, or something along that line.
Something profound.
When you get compounding working on your side for years and decades, it can have a dramatic effect on the positive. So the quicker you can save for retirement, the younger the better. But even if you're watching this show, you're in your 50s or 60s still working, there's still time to invest and get that compounding in place. There's time is still on your side.
Yeah, optimize that retirement. Question number 11, artificial intelligence is here to make all of our lives easier, Mike. But what about it investing for you? Your thoughts on AI picking your stocks?
Wow, what could go wrong, right? Having that computer, whatever that is, whether it's a robot or a machine or a box, let's make sure hopefully it stays plugged in. Hopefully there's not a power outage. What could go wrong? Anytime there's new technology, look, I'm kind of a wait and see type of person.
Okay.
Let's see how other people do with it. And yeah, there's different implications or potential benefits with AI, artificial intelligence. But for someone to put their whole life savings or nest egg on that, I think that's a risky bet people would not want to make with putting all their chips on the table all in right now.
Well, I love the strategy. Find guinea pigs.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be your neighbor. Perhaps that brother-in-law.
The brother-in-law with the hot
can
stock
be the guinea
tip.
pig.
Yeah, let them be the guinea
He's the
pig.
guinea pig.
Let him prove it.
Absolutely. Question number 12, instead of chasing a magic number, why is it more sound for retirees to think about how much they'll spend year over year?
Yeah, with that. Well, because the bills come in, the expenses, but also to check off those things on the bucket list.
Yeah.
So people they got a bunch of assets, and sometimes they see where they're trying to live off Social Security, and they're actually fearful to withdraw from their investment accounts. When you've got investment planning, income planning, and looking at tax strategies, you can have more confidence in retirement when you have all those things working together instead of hoping that it works out. Hope is not a strategy.
Hope is not a strategy. It's not a plan. No one's going to get there with hope. Question number 13, how do you measure up? There's headlines about how much have you saved and how do you stack up? It leads to the comparison game, Mike. You've seen this. When people ask if they're on track, how do you handle that type of conversation?
Yeah, with that, well, No two situations are the same. So it starts with that casual conversation, finding out their unique situation, what they're trying to accomplish. And obviously we look at investments, their assets, their income, their expenses. And it's a series of more than one conversation the deeper we want to dive. But we've got to look at that and take that very close look at it to make sure we get it right in retirement.
Yeah, focus on you, your dreams, your goals, your desires.
It's not a one-size-fits-all.
Not a one-size-fits-all. No cookie-cutter strategies here. Question number 14, having the number to retire early is one thing, but do you also talk to people about what they're going to retire to?
Yeah, we do, because you walk out the door from your job. Now, you're not going to see the people you work with.
Sure.
Maybe you're happy about that. Maybe you're not. Who knows? But you know, sometimes they lose their identity. And yeah, how are you going to fill your days? Are you going to travel more? Are you going to golf or play pickleball? Are there some charities you want to be a part of? But what does that conversation look like? So I have a lot of conversations with my clients and people that come through the office on what that can look like and how to try to ease that transition.
That's a beautiful thing to hear. Final question of 15 and 15. If you write something down, chances are higher it'll be better for you. For the person that writes their retirement plan, though, on a paper napkin, what do they really need?
Well, a lot of luck on their side. Look, if you got it on a paper napkin, really, would you try to build a house without a blueprint? Would you just try to piecemeal it together? No, you're going to go to an architect. You're going to have plans in place, and maybe along the way the blueprint changes, but you want that with your nest egg in your life savings. You want a written, meticulous plan. And that's the thing. I wrote an article about this a few years back. There's two types of people, those that have a written plan and those that don't. So which camp do you fall in? Unfortunately, a lot of people fall in that camp without a written plan. There can be real detriment to their financial future.
And we are looking for bright futures in retirement. Mike Riedmiller, off the clock of 15 and 15. Excellent work. Today, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Riedmiller Wealth Management has an offer for you right now for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater. They're offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your next steps to really get ready for retirement. The number to call, 402-791-6177. And if the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and number, and the team will call you back.
If you're not always one to ask for directions, you're not alone. But sometimes plugging a destination into your GPS will allow you to enjoy the ride. You'll be more likely to avoid traffic and roadblocks. So what we have here is our very own GPS destination retirement. Mike, you ready to hit the road?
I am ready, Mallory. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. So as we get started, I want to talk income. We often hear income makes the world go round in retirement. This is something you talk about a lot. What do we need to know?
Income, very important in retirement. The bills keep coming in. Look, you want to have a confident retirement. You want to be able to travel to those places maybe you weren't able to, check off those things on the bucket list, take care of the grandkids if you want. Have fun in retirement. More fun, less stress. You need income for that.
Got to cover those expenses and the fun stuff. Okay, let's continue on our journey here. This is where we hit growth. I think a lot of people are obsessed with growth. What do you say to those focused on growth at all costs?
Well, be careful. I don't know if the listeners or viewers have noticed, there's a little volatility in the market.
Just a little
Mallory.
bit.
Maybe that'll continue in the years to come. I mean, very likely. So we still want to grow the money in retirement, but we've got to have a balanced and diversified plan tailored to our situation. Because people coming up on retirement or already retired, we don't have years and years and decades to make up for big losses that can come. So we want as much growth as possible with the least amount of risk, trying to balance that out, and it comes down to planning.
How often do you find people are missing this?
Many times. Yeah, I see it every week. Every week in my office, people come in. I do see where they have too much risk and really not aware of all the risks that they have. They've got a mix of stocks and bonds and mutual funds and an assumption that they've got real diversification, sometimes not as diversified as they really thought.
All right, let's move on down the road here. All right, taxes, so important, Mike, and yet, as we know, so frequently overlooked, right?
Absolutely. Mallory, taxes can be one of the biggest expenses in retirement, costing people tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars in the years and decades to come. Here's the thing. If somebody has an IRA, we do not want that to become an IOU to the IRS.
I like that. Let me ask you this, though. Why do you feel then that this conversation is not being had more often?
Yeah, a lot of times people, they're just not looking at it. They're trying to get their taxes done on a yearly basis and just meet that April 15th deadline. With tax strategies, it's easy to overlook or maybe kick the can down the road, so to speak. It's certainly important, but a lot of people do not feel that it's urgent. But I would say, in my opinion, if you're coming up on retirement or already retired, this could be vitally urgent.
Not one to procrastinate on. All right, as we continue making moves here, protection. Again, this is one that I think for a lot of people looks obvious, but the reality is sometimes it's not being handled the right way, right?
Yeah, trying to help people with potential protection, because people have too much risk. As we've talked about, one bad year in the market can wipe out years of gains. We saw that in 2008. The market was down around 40%. 2022, both the stock and bond market were down, a lot of volatility. How many more years will we see down markets in the next 10 or 20 or 30 years? Something that people really got to think about, that potential protection within their accounts, in their retirement plan.
Potential protection it is. And moving on here, legacy. Look, I hear a lot of conversations lately about, look, I hoped that I was going to leave a greater legacy, but now the cost of living is so high, and my reality is I just don't know what's going to be left over. What do those conversations sound like in your office?
Yeah, with that, there's some real concerns because of inflation, market volatility, what future costs could look like, especially with long-term care and health care. So it is part of the conversation. We've got to talk about that. So legacy planning, you want to make sure you have a will. A trust could be beneficial. But yeah, you want to be able to leave that legacy, leave that money to your kids and grandkids, but at the same time, enjoy your retirement and have some of that added confidence that we always talk about on this show.
All right, you make the right stops along the way. Eventually, you may find yourself at the destination that is retirement. Why is it so important for all of these things we talked about to work together?
Because Mallory, when people are in their golden years, they've retired, they've worked hard, they want to enjoy retirement and do the things that are important to them. They don't want to be stressed out. They do not want to have to go back to work unless they want to for something to do. But with planning, retirement planning, investment planning, income planning, all the different things we've talked about, a person can have a more confident retirement, but it's not going to happen by accident.
I'm glad we used a GPS. And I'm glad I asked for directions, Mike. Thank you so much. And right now, for you at home, if you want to make sure you have a GPS for your retirement, Mike has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, they're offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan just for you. This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap analyzing where you are right now and discuss your next steps to really get ready for retirement. The number to call right now, 402-791-6177. That's 402-791-6177. If the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and your number, and the team will call you back.
Mike, before we go today, I know you have something for our viewers at home.
I do, and I'm really excited about this. For the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, I'd like to invite you into the office where the team will sit down with you personally and help you create your very own retirement plan. If the lines are busy, please leave a voicemail, and I will commit to calling you back.
Mike, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And once again, exclusively for our Finance Report viewers, Riedmiller Wealth Management has an offer for you. Right now, for the first 5 callers with a portfolio of $250,000 or greater, they're offering a complimentary full-blown retirement plan.
This will allow the team to sit down with you personally and provide you with a roadmap, analyzing where you are right now, and then discuss your next steps to really get ready for retirement. The number to call, 402-791-6177. If the lines are busy, leave a message with your name and number, and the team will call you back.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next time.